right, welcome to the Closing Beat, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you're having a good day here so far. If you're not, take a look at the markets. The markets are having a great day thanks to China, and of course we'll cover that. This is our quick stock market update show that we do. We're Jazz Wealth Managers, as you can see by the logos all over the screen and on my shirt. We do this show every day just to cover the stock markets, let you know how things are going, the good, the bad, and the ugly, try to leave the opinion out of it, and just help you with what's going on. Well, if you look to the right-hand side of your screen, you've got the market's performance today. Great, just a great day, of course, by thanks to China, and we will cover that. But on the bottom right, what's most important, I want you to see that bottom right. You got the every 5 minutes, what happened in the market, what was going on overall, just minute by minute, and you could see a perfect straight line higher. That's what's known as a trend day. And whenever you notice that sort of consistent move to the upside, first place you're always going to look is financials and semiconductors or tech stocks, and you had both of them today. Just very consistent, very strong, and like I said, a lot of it was due to China. Overnight, China had some manufacturing numbers that were off the charts. Well, as far as going back to last September, right? So we have this sort of decline in Chinese manufacturing. Now, we've been showing our customers why China is actually in a bull market and showing them that, what you see on TV is like, okay, it's a little scary. But in reality, what's going on in China with the data, we've been showing them that. And of course, we're going to cover that this week as well on Thursday nights. It's a monthly update that we do for our customers about how the markets are going all around the world, everything from a data perspective. And this one is going to be the best one yet. I'm not saying that because I want you to join us. I hope you'll keep us in mind, but I'm saying that because I'm pulling every ounce of data that I can to show you guys how you can see what's really going on and maybe sound kind of smart in front of your friends if you want to really impress them with that. Also, if this economy, the questioning of whether it's going into a recession or not, were based on mergers, acquisitions, buyouts, things like that, you would have no concern at all. In our funds, all of our funds are listed on our website. We've got, if you had all of them, which you wouldn't, but if you happen to have all of them, you'd have over 1,000 different positions in the various different funds. And we are working on our 7th buyout already this year, meaning we get notification that somebody is buying somebody or merging with somebody, and we have to make a decision what to do with that position. Normally, that's like twice a year, maybe. It's only April, basically March, and we're working on our 7th one. So there is a lot of underlying acquisitions going on. And so, of course, we always keep our customers updated on that as well. All right, well, let's go over here to the charts. By the way, if you want to follow along and you're one of our customers, go into the dojo. This is for every one of our customers. You have access to this. You can type any symbol you want in here and play along, see how things are going. You can also look at any older classes we've done. These are specifically for clients only. Thursdays will also be the same, and you could just dig through the history, all the geeky detail stuff and the very basic stuff as well. You can go in there and check out what you want to learn and kind of get better at. We're a teaching firm here at Jazz Wealth, so we're always trying to teach and show just all that stuff that people don't explain clearly. We're trying to do it in a way that helps you sort of clearly understand it. Well, I'm going to teach you something new today. It's called the Golden Cross. Seriously, that's the name of it. It's called the Golden Cross. It's a technical pattern that traders are taught. Almost everybody knows it exists. If you follow what you see on the screen, these candlesticks and all the sort of messiness that you see, the Golden Cross is a technical pattern that we want to point out to you. Now, if you're not familiar with what all this is, go in the dojo under those classes. There's actually 3 detailed classes on candlesticks, what they all mean, specifically how they work, what sort of language this is speaking to you here. You can check that out. But the Golden Cross, in the absolute most layman terms, is when the blue line on my chart goes above the red line. That's as simple as it is, really. In its traditional sense, both lines need to be rising, which they are currently, but it's simply when the blue line goes above the red line. And if you know me, anytime there's a 50-day moving average on my chart, it's always blue. Anytime there's a 200-day on a chart, it's always red. So it is when the 50-day moving average crosses above the red line. It is known as being historically bullish. I'll give you a hint. We're going to cover this on Thursday in extreme detail. I'm going to show every single time this has happened in history and the performance from every single time it's happened so you can understand how important the Golden Cross really is. But I'll give you a hint. It's not smooth sailing right from the beginning. So if you're looking at this and going, oh no, I wanted the markets to fall, you still have a chance, right? It's not always a solid bullish signal, especially in the beginning. But this time, at least people, technical traders, will attribute the move higher towards that golden cross and any subsequent move headed higher. So this is the S&P 500 you see on the screen. Golden cross in full effect, and markets to new highs for the year. Just incredibly strong today. The manufacturing numbers from China really started it overnight, about 1 o'clock in the morning. If you happen to be really weird like me and follow all the world markets, you notice that happen. Our futures markets ticked up overnight, very, very strong. Nasdaq also did well today with about 1.3% on the day. And we've kind of been talking about this one a lot lately, the Russell. Russell is very important for the overall sort of economic picture of how things are going. The Russell has now officially moved into the upper end of the downtrend. It had a great day as well, participated right along with the other markets. Remember, that wasn't always the case. The Russell was having some days where it took the day off. When everybody else was working hard, it took the day off. That's not the case today. However, unbelievable resistance to the upside, so the Russell has a lot to prove. So if you're on the fence of whether you think this market's headed higher or lower, in the midterm, you got your eyes on the Russell there. All right, let's move along to some of the different sectors of the market. If you ever follow us here, we start with the major indices. We move on down to the sectors of the market. I'd be wrong if I didn't cover crude oil today. Crude oil broke to a new high again. Very strong day for crude, almost a 3% gain, hitting the 200-day moving average, basically where it stopped for the day. So an important resistance level there. I want to point this out real quick. We're also going to cover this on Thursday in extreme detail regarding data. Like, I won't leave our customers out. I'll never tell them I think this is going to happen. I always say this is what has happened in history. We spend a great deal of time and money on data here, and so it's actually what we're working on right now. Crude oil had over a 30% gain in the first quarter. So I think it was 32%. So a 32% gain in the first quarter. And we asked ourselves, what does that mean? Does it mean crude oil does well going forward? Does it mean crude oil takes a break for the next quarter? What can we expect? So I'm going to cover that in great detail, and I'll give you a hint on that as well. You're not going to be too excited about what the data shows, but crude oil, very strong today. If you're an energy-related investor or you have some of that, well, you can't complain right now. You're doing quite well, which means the oil explorers, the oil service stocks, which have all been lagging behind, not really trusting this rally here, they've been stuck at these sort of equal highs, unable to break out. Does this mean there's now a new potential breakout there? If you're a technical trader, you love this higher low right here. Just simply put, I'm going to put it right here so we can track this in real time. This higher low giving you the hint that the oil explorers, symbol XOP, and you can't see it, by the way. There you go. Now you can see it. This higher low here giving you the clue that this thing is ready to break out. Also, I'll point out OIH. There you go. That's your oil service stocks. Almost an identical picture here. It loses a point if you're thinking like, oh my God, breakout, I got to be a part of this. It loses a point because it's in the middle of a downtrend. If it was in an uptrend and continued sideways, you'd be really excited about it, and I would be telling you how I'm not recommending that you buy this, but somehow trying to tell you should be a part of it, right? So that's the OIH there. Very, very strong in oil, energy, and stuff today. So bank stocks, semiconductors, tech stocks, and you have oil all very strong on the day. That's a big, big slice of the market, very important. Semiconductors, you got 2.5% gain on the day, not quite erasing what happened last Friday, or last 2 Thursdays ago, but still recovering almost all of it. Most people will give that a pass and say, hey, that's pretty strong. Financials, great recovery. Remember, it's taken some time. The Fed came out with their announcement there. Oh, we're going to leave rates where they are. We're going to slow or speed up our balance sheet reduction, and everything sold off and did not recover very quick. You said, okay, that's not a good sign. You like to see if something takes a beating, could it recover real quick? Gives you confidence you should stick with it. That and the KRE, which is the regional banks, very, very nice recovery here. So KRE is what I'm showing on the screens there right now. So with the bulk of the market, all looked really good today. Can't really complain on that one. Healthcare was a bit of a drag. The XLV is the symbol ETF we'll use to track that. It's got a lot of overhead resistance. You can kind of see it there. It's just struggling to move higher. Most analysts are quite bullish on it, but you may be familiar with this technical pattern here, this sort of rising wedge at the moment. Historically, that's bullish, but today was just not the case. You had weakness in UNH, Johnson & Johnson, and then going over to the drug companies, Biogen, I believe, still sold off. Remember, that one took a beating before. Yeah, another sell-off on Biogen, another 1.5% lower on that one. And Celgene, CELG, there you go. Celgene just pulling back a little bit after its recent breakout. All of that together just kind of weighing down on healthcare. I don't think it's too big of a deal in the short term. Transports, very strong. So China news, manufacturing, U.S. news, all this great stuff coming out to start the week naturally helps transports, global transport stocks. And so those moved all the way back to highs. If you look here, this is the high of the year. So we moved all the way back there, and every investor said, that's good enough for now. I'm willing to wait, not willing to buy any more with this overhead resistance. If you don't believe in technical resistance, this one may help kind of change your mind a little bit. So transport's really, really good. Gain of over 15% on the day and back above the 200-day moving average. XLI, these are your industrials. You always want to check this sort of thing when you get good or bad news out of China. Industrials also moving to those previous highs as well, so that's good news there. Also, I want to point out that golden cross we were mentioning on the S&P, it's been over 1,000 days since we've seen that. So that's part of the equation. Are longer golden crosses, do they make for a more bullish move, or does that make it worse? Does that make for more concern? So we're going to cover that on Thursday as well. That's basically all I have sector-wise. If we move on to some of the individual stocks you may be looking at, you got Facebook just desperately trying to come up with that catalyst to move them out of this 2-month range. Facebook's been just moving sideways. Nobody's interested. Nobody's scared. You have basically a tug of war going right in this little range here. And so Mark Zuckerberg basically said he offered regulations on the internet and offered regulations on Facebook as sort of an offensive move. You know he's been getting beat up a lot lately by Congress. Some of the presidential candidates are even saying they want to break up Facebook and some of the other big tech companies. So kind of smart on his part, going on the offensive to say, hey, rather than you guys yell at me and make me come back to Capitol Hill and tell me what I should do, I'm just going to tell you guys what you should tell me I should do. So pretty smart dude, huh? So he was offering regulations today. Not all that I would agree with or say that Congress is going to agree with, but it shows that he's willing to have that conversation. The stock was higher by 1.2% today. I have a feeling it would have still been positive today, even if the markets were kind of flat. I take that as good news and a good effort for them to try to get ahead of the punishments, if they will. Or if you will. Kellogg, down about 2 1/3% today. They are almost done, supposedly, with the deal to buy Famous Amos cookies and the Keebler brand from Kellogg's. There's a company called Ferrero. You maybe know of them. They own Nutella. And some of the other brands as well. Well, they're trying to scoop up more of this stuff. They bought, I believe it was Hershey's or Nestle's. They bought all of their candy business last year. They're now trying to buy all of the cookie business from Kellogg's. And that deal's supposedly almost done, somewhere around $1 to $1.5 billion. So Kellogg's just a touch lower on that news. And Activision Blizzard has taken a beating. The gaming stocks, Take-Two Interactive, if you've been following along, these gaming stocks have taken quite a beating lately, and a lot more competition coming from Google, of course, and now Apple with what they're calling their gaming system or gaming service as well that you can pay for. So all of these names taking a bit of a beating. Today, Wedbush, I believe it was Wedbush, they put it on their best ideas list. They said basically, look, the stock's been beaten up. It's a great company. They're still going to do well. They think in the next year to two, they're going to do really well. And at these prices, they suggest it's a discount, not me. Speaking of Apple, I don't know if you care at all about this, but there's these rumors like that Apple's going to make their own car, like physically make their own car, electric car. And it comes and goes. Like occasionally you hear something where it's like, no, they're working on the software. They're not really working on a car. They want to be in the car, but they don't want to be the car. Well, that may have changed a little bit today. The former head of powertrains at Tesla was kind of stolen away and has gone to work for Apple. Why would somebody that's the head of powertrain, not software, right? Not tech, He was the head of powertrain. Why would he be stolen and going to Apple? What's the value in that? So a lot of people are starting to say they are working on a car. Oh my God, they're going to put out a car. This is going to be incredible. So Apple, mixed bag today. They're still sort of fighting off the streaming thing from last year. Last week, you know that when now the stats on that. When they do these live events, typically the stock does take a little bit of a hit in the short term. But if you like the idea of an Apple car driving around, well, hey, that's pretty good news. I don't know. I can't picture it for some reason. Like, I can't picture an Apple car, but, I mean, it sounds cool. Semiconductors, we covered those. Very strong. Banks, very strong today. Transports, industrials, very strong today. Communication services. That's a sector we've been sort of just saying, hey, steady as she goes. That one held up very strong when the market started pulling back. So you got a lot of relative strength in that one. That continues. On the downside, you got things like gold, your safety trades, a little bit weaker on the day. Remember, it took a beating the other day, and so that's continuing today. If you follow the foreign exchange market, the dollar relative to the euro hit new highs today. I don't cover that a lot. I don't think a lot of people are too interested in that, so I don't generally mention it. And then the interest rate sensitive stuff, your utilities and REITs, all pulling back just a touch though. Not a big deal today if that's something you like to participate in. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them before we go. Otherwise, you kind of just like, if you're a bull in this market and you want the markets to move higher, you kind of are just like, okay, don't look. Everything's going well. Just don't look at the market. Everybody be quiet. Let it do its thing. And that's basically where we're at. There's a lot of little tiny news out there, but nothing too exciting. I will point out that if you are one of our customers, you do not want to miss Thursday. Of course, it's going to be live. There'll be an email invite, but replay in the dojo, I will leave no stone unturned. It's going to get geeky. I know some of you like that, and some of you are sort of intimidated by it. The goal being, I will give you a general view of where the markets are, and then all of you that like the details, I will go into details like I've never gone into details before. I spent like all weekend preparing the charts and things that I want to show you and all the data. So looking forward to it there. All right. You've been busy. Oh, AT&T, by the way, financial investor, if you're focused on that one, AT&T ranked one of the better buys today. Did I put it in the thing below? I think I did. I put it somewhere. I wanted to point that one out. AT&T, Barron's, there was an article over the weekend that they were pointing out AT&T as one of the top attractive investments for that dividend type stock, not only from a price point, valuation, and where they're currently at, but of course the dividend. We all know, great dividend stock there. So Barron's is on your side, Mr. Financial Investor. Nice. Nice. If you hold MDT inside of a Roth or any foreign company inside of a Roth, have any weird tax stuff, you withhold 20%, depends on the brokers. You can have that election in there for the foreign tax to be withheld. But with us, it's a default that we do that, so you don't have to, just one less thing that you might miss out on. I think with most brokers, it's a default, to be honest with you these days, because it's automated and it's just simple. David says, welcome from South Carolina. Boy, that David, I hope you get airline miles. David's a traveling fool, man. But he never travels to Florida, never wants to come by and say hi to us, man. I get it. Nice. Bring on the Thursday Geeky. He loves it, man. I love it too. I'm ready for it. I love doing that. By the way, we're financial advisors that work with everybody, right? So don't let this intimidate you. We sort of pretend that everybody that starts with us really doesn't know what they're doing, and we want to bring them up to speed. I'm actually working on a beginner series so that as you join us, if you really don't know anything, you kind of get this drip of this is what this is what this is, so that you're brought up to speed and can participate in the more advanced stuff if you like that as well. Why does he only have 3 fingers on one hand? I'll take every one I can get. It's 4. I count the thumb. I love it. Hey, I didn't cover Lyft. That's right. I had it at the top of my list and I left it there. Lyft. Holy cow. I did a video for you guys. I explained this. I'm actually, when I'm done here, I'm going to record a video for customers on when's the best time to own IPOs, right? Looked at all the data of the biggest IPOs out there and said, when's the best time? If it's not right away, when is it? If I want to be an IPO participant, when is the best time to own it so that I don't get involved in something like Lyft? Now, I'm not calling Lyft that's unfortunate that it fell. It's more unfortunate for the future IPOs that are about to come out. They'll be, of course, under more scrutiny if this lift doesn't lift and it stays down at the lows. So to me, it's not such a bad thing for Lyft, because you can look at it and say, well, look, they lose 50 cents for every dollar they make. Just think about that. Your son, your family comes to you and says, hey, will you invest in my business? And you go, oh man, I really want to help you out. Tell me about your business. Well, I make $1, but I lose 50 cents for every dollar that I make. I'm negative. I don't have any money left over. And actually, there's an additional 50 cents that goes out the door. I don't know where it comes from. And I still want you to invest. Think about that. Good grief. David promises he's going to come by the studio when he makes it to Florida. I heard you were coming to Tampa. I'm not that far from Tampa, man. I'll send a lift. They could use the help. Oh. Dustin, after watching a lot of yours and other videos last December, you swapped your target date fund for other investments. So far, you're beating that fund by 2%, about the same as the market. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. A lot of our customers have the Vanguard target date funds. Great target date funds. Great target date funds. However, they're a little slow. So we always offer a little bit of advice. I help you with any of your investments for our customers here. There's always just one little thing you can do to speed up your Vanguard target date funds. So if you do have Vanguard target date funds in your 401k, absolutely nothing bad to say about them, except for they're a little slow. They tend to be on a conservative side. We can help you speed that up for sure. Jacob gives me a 10 out of 10 for the pun. Thanks, sir. I try. Unemployable. I would change that screen name, man. He says, where is your office? You were just in Clearwater. We're about 10 minutes from Clearwater, to be honest with you. You just missed it, man. Right here. Brand new space. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, I'll wrap it up there. The Domino's Pizza, you're asking about there, Ramon. You don't like what happened today. Not only did it sell off today and it was a very negative day, I get it, but on a day when everything else was positive, that's a lot of underlying weakness right there. That is going to be a name that people go pick on if they're looking for weak stocks. I'm not telling you, of course, what to do with it, but that is not a good sign what happened today. That reversal is impressive, but for the bears. All right, that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow to do this all over again. Do me a favor, go see the earlier video that we posted on traditional IRAs. A lot of people are asking me, Dustin, I owe the IRS $1,000, $5,000, whatever. Can I just open an IRA with you and contribute it and give the money to my retirement instead of the IRS? Probably, but go watch that video and be sure you don't fall into one of those 2-3 categories first before we talk, because I got to do the right thing, man. I got to guide you in the right direction. We are fiduciary financial advisors. All right, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you soon.
Why should you choose Jazz Wealth as your retirement or long-term investing service? Our portfolios are managed by us, not some faceless mutual fund manager. Our private classes will teach you everything about investing and getting your dough straight. Best of all, our fiduciary standard means your best interest comes before